Welcome, race fans, to round one of the 2016 Canadian Motocross Championships. This is the Whispering Pines Raceway, nestled on the banks of the North Thompson River, just north of Kamloops, British Columbia. MX2 pilots on the line, an absolutely gorgeous facility as we get ready to kick off this 2016 series. Motovan presents the 2016 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross National. Ladies and gentlemen, the circus is in town. Brian Coster and Mark Travers in the booth as we get set to unveil round one. The Kamloops Skydiving Club getting things going. Fabs, before we get into the details for this first round, let's pop into that series schedule because it's a hot one.
That's right, Travs. We've got 10 rock-solid rounds going coast to coast. New this year, we're back to Truro, Nova Scotia, and the fabulous Pleasant Valley Raceway, and then back for round 10 to RJ Motorsport Park. It's gonna culminate 10 great rounds, Keith.
Fabs, MX2 pilots in staging. Let's go get a little focus with our top pilots in MX2.
Cole Thompson, number 4, racing for KTM Thor Racing Team.
Jeremy Medallia, number 14, racing for the Honda Canada GDR Fox Racing Team.
Dylan Wright, number 17, from MX101 FXR Yamaha.
My name's Brad Noddet, I'm number 18. I ride for SG Power, Honda Canada, Shift, Fox, and Scotty Motorsports.
Jess Pettis, number 20, ride for MX101 FXR Yamaha.
Jacob Hayes, number 100. I ride for the Monster Energy Alpine Star Kawasaki.
Okay, Fabs, let's look at this facility, the Whispering Pines Raceway. You can see how it's funneled into this valley just north of Kamloops. It's gorgeous.
Well, this is the extension of Death Valley. It is classified a desert, and it is hot and dry. Track is going backwards this year. Big jumps, gets really rough and choppy. It is sand-based with a hard kind of underlaying layer of soil, so you get some hard edges and big square edge bumps.
Great images from the Hills Video drone as the MX2 pilots coming out onto parade to this beautifully prepared Stu McQueen track. MX2 racing is right around the corner. Look at those 4 gorgeous Rockstar models. Wow. Welcome back to round one of the 2016 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals. Mark Travers and Brian Coster in the booth as we get set for MX2 Moto 1. The lovely Christy bringing the Rockstar Moto board across. And oh my goodness, Rockstar Julia is on top of her game today. Let's hope the rest of the MX2 pilots are at that level. This first MX2 Moto will be brought to you by RoyalDistributing.com. Fabs, I want to talk about the heat. It is stiflingly hot today with Julia going to 5.
Yes, and it's only going to get hotter as the day progresses. Yesterday, it was 40 plus C in the afternoon. The gate is down. A big jump from the 17. MX101 rider Dylan Wright. What a huge hole shot.
He timed it perfectly, Brian. Huge sweeper, same as last year. Left-hander. Who's going to get that Royal Distributing hole shot?
Did you see Wright bounce off that berm on the outside? A huge saucing of roost and dust for the next competitor coming through. Looks like Jeremy Medallia, Gopher Dunes Honda there, dicing for second.
Fabs, the number 18 Honda, Brad Noddet's in the mix. He pops into second. Looks like Moffin Byers in fourth. And the young Jess Pettis, number 20, on that Rockstar Yamaha. That's Dylan Wright's teammate in fifth.
So we've got a lot of the key players up front, but where is the number 4 of Thompson and the 100 of Jacob Hayes? Now remember, they have a fierce rivalry coming out of that Arena Cross series. No love lost there between those two guys, but they're not in the top 5 right now.
Back to the Hills Video drone. Great images of this valley and the Whispering Pines MX track. Little Muff on the inside. Want to talk about some bar banging in this class between a couple Canadians. Muff takes a position from Medallia. Let's face it, in this lights class, if you will, you got to get up, you got to get into it, Fabs.
That was a really aggressive pass by Moffenbauer, and you could see him take that inside hipper, doing a little scrub. Jeremy rocking the outside line, so lots of inside hips, and look at the air from Sean Moffenbauer, jumping further than anybody, and now he is challenging Brad Noddet, and this year Noddet being helped out by Honda Canada, so a big change for Brad from Yamaha.
A real sandy track, Brian. It gets super rough, but there is some loamy soil in other places. And look at the sweeping speed from Moffenbauer. Outside, Noddet on the inside. You can carry speed through there.
Yeah, especially on these 250Fs, you can't really work the insides as well as on the 450s. Moff gets the drive, but denied right now. Foot off the peg. He is hanging it out, Trav, but not it with some good defense.
Wow.
No, denied.
The track is super rough. You can see them bouncing all over the place already, trying to get into that desirable line, because there's a fast line here. But Brian, this track it's tough.
Did you see Muff there? Just both wheels totally drifting, feet off the pegs. A replay from our Hills video drone. A nice long shoot into that left-hander, and then an arcing right dogleg. Here we're gonna see some carnage there. That green Kawasaki right up on the inside at the tail end here. There he is, just gets a little bit crossed up there. Medaglia goes sideways. Hayes has got nowhere to go but down.
That's a full start incident. That was just a cut across. That happens. Back to our lead package. The number 17, that's the MX-101 Yamaha. The Blue Crew, Dylan Wright in the lead. He looks fantastic. A tall, young kid on the motorcycle. He's brash, he's confident. Look at the speed he's carrying through that rough sweeper.
He is touted.
He missed his run, right? He missed his run.
Oh, look at the mechanics waving their flags. So just saying what a huge prodigy Wright is. He is, definitely. But Moff, the more established MX2 rider, actually Moff had some great years in MX1. Through the mechanics area, Wright just goes wide, opens the door. A pretty easy pass there for Sean.
Coming in to close down the first lap. You talked about, oh, but there's the number 4 of Cole Thompson and that Thor KTM. He's way back, Brian, outside of the top 10. Moffenbauer established, you said that, he had a number 6 in MX1. He knows how to ride a motorcycle.
Wow, he is riding amazing right now in that Redemption Racing. It's a new ride for him, and Wright won't be denied. He wants a piece of it. Look at the gap.
Already.
Third.
You're right, back to Noddet and Medaglia going hard. Love this little hipper on the inside. Like, oh, nice pop over before they hit that big tunnel jump.
Jeremy has been pressuring Brad pretty hard, and it's been a little cat and mouse. Jess Pettis, teammates with Dylan Wright, looking great out of Prince George, BC. He's been on Yamaha for many years, of course nurtured by Kawasaki, and now pretty settled on the Blue Crew.
Look at the way this track is starting to come together. Super rough on the inside, but it's like a puzzle, right, Brian? You have to put a track together like a puzzle, pieces of a puzzle.
Absolutely, and some riders have strength on different parts of the track. One guy I know you like, Davey Frazier out of New Brunswick. Two-stroke Husqvarna, he's packing it in early.
Issues early, yeah. One of the guys we were hoping to see in the top 10, super fast at a two-stroke, back to the battle for third place. They come through that Royal Distributing opposite sweeper from the start. Noddet in third place. The number 14 of Jerry Medaglia on that GDR Honda. They look great in that Fox gear, don't they, Fabs?
That Robbins Egg Blue Fox gear is definitely a standout on track. Jeremy has been just getting a wheel in. Oh, no! Trying too hard. He has been trying hard. There's been so much cat and mouse between those two guys. Noddet's got great defense. Now, Noddet is a real, likable friend in this class, so you don't really want to do a dirty move this early in the season and this kind of stage of the race.
Pettis and Thompson get by Medaglia, so he loses 2 spots, but you saw the way his front end just kind of slid out, look, classic low slide.
Big time, and I think he kept the motor running, so he's up and going, but Wright is riding these whoops really well. Of course, based out of MX-101 at Sand Del Lee, he has a great amount of experience on a track with this type of soil.
Let's get back to his teammate, the number 20, Jess Pettis, who has hunted down the 18 of Brad Noddet, who's riding for that Scotty Plastics racing team this year on that Honda. He looks fantastic back on the Honda. Pettis, you know what? This is great experience for Pettis. He showed last year he belongs in the upper echelon of this class. He's fit as a fiddle, and look at the line development that he's working, going inside. Does he have Bandito? He has passed the Bandito and is in third place.
Wow, that Yamaha has some good horsepower there to kind of pull from the inside. Of course, that was a very well-planned and executed pass by the likable Jess Pettis. Of course, a real family sport, and his parents and sister always supporting him.
Back to the battle for the lead as we get into the waning stages of this moto. The number 15 of Sean Moffenbauer cannot shake the 17 of Dylan Wright loose as they come through mechanics area. You can see how the track is really getting choppy, Brian, near the end of this moto. And I love this drag back section.
Well, the heat's starting to take its toll on these athletes as they move through lappers. Oh no, look at Moffenbauer out of the rut traps, almost here to the white flag. Wow, he's been getting unbelievable pressure from Wright and finally buckles.
Yeah, well, you can see that's the same spot that Medaglia went down. He had that inside line. It was working for him, and boom, front end popped out. The number 4 of Cole Thompson. Thor Racing KTM is starting to make some moves late in this moto as he gets by Noddet, and that is for 4th place, Brian. So you think about the start that Thompson had. Great finish for him.
Well, he was caught up in that whole Jacob Hayes incident, so he's really played catch-up. Here's a replay of that pass. Moff gets in there just a little askew and just not quite right and just lifts that front up. Lucky he didn't high-side or crash, but that's all young Dylan Wright needed. MX-101 Yamaha first place with half a lap to go. This is huge for him.
Well, this will be his first win in the MX2 class, Brian. He's flirted in and around the podium. He's been on there before, but man, oh man, the arm in the air for his boys as he comes through the mechanics area into the Dragon's Back. Let's talk about the track going backwards. Not as much flow as last year, but boy, it's made some difficult parts of this track even more difficult.
Yeah, a lot of the riders kind of complaining about the flow, but Dylan Wright's got nothing to complain about. That new Rockstar sponsor for his Yamaha team. Travs, that was an interesting first moto.
What a guy. Let's put your hands together, Dylan Wright. All right, let's do this.
Great start to the 2016 season. Let's go to the Yamaha leaderboard, MX2 Moto 1. You know your winner, Wright, Moffenbauer, Pettis on the podium. Thompson looking good. How about Brandon Leith, LaFontaine, Medallion in 8th, Rowan Keys.
Number 17, Dylan Wright, MX101 Yamaha. Dylan, what a ride for you. Your first national moto win. Man, did you ever work on Moffenbauer out there? Talk to us about that moto and that final lap pass.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously got a wicked start. I got the whole shot and came around the first lap. I've never really got a whole shot before, so I was kind of pushing, but I was like, I don't know what to do. And then I missed the straight off the start lane, and I blew that. So then Moff got by me, and then I just paced him the whole moto. And then with 2 laps to go, I knew my fitness was good, and I just put a charge down, and he ended up making a little mistake, and I got by him. And I'm just so pumped to get that first moto win. I mean, I couldn't do it without my team.
Number 20, Jess Pettis, a BC boy, does good today, Jess. One of your best finishes in MX2 Pro National. You got to be pretty stoked with your team, your teammate, and yourself for that solid moto.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great moto. We got off to a decent start and just put our head down. And, you know, it's a super hot day out, so, you know, I just knew how to get a good start. And the track's already pretty gnarly, so I just settled in. Not the best start, but settled in, rode smooth. And a couple people made mistakes, made a couple passes near the end. And just rode a solid, smooth race and just worried about myself. And I'm pretty stoked it paid off. I'm on the podium.
The son of Big Muff, Little Muff, Sean Moffenbauer led most of that race, Sean. You put in an amazing moto. But young Dylan Wright on that last lap, that has to hurt.
Oh, totally. I mean, I led that entire race, and it was obviously pretty tough for me, but we had a little bit of a problem with the front brake on the first lap, so honestly, I was happy to lead as long as I did. So, but, you know, the Big Steel KTM was working great out there, and you know what, hopefully we can do it again next moto.
The temperature in the Premier class, it's a rising. MX1 pilots with their gate picks and gate prep as they get set to go out and do battle for the first MX1 moto of the season. Brian, a lot of details on these riders' minds when you think about what they're going to be up against coming up here. We got sand, we've got heat, we've got all that other stuff. Let's forget about the fact that we got some world-class talent on this line.
Without question, you see Colton Fasciotti way on the inside. Some of these guys no shirt on to the last minute. Let's meet our top riders.
Matt Gerke, number 1, Rockstar Energy OTSFF Yamaha.
Colton Fasciotti, number 2, Honda Canada GDR Fox Racing.
Hey, I'm Brett Metcalf on the number 3 Rockstar OTSFF Yamaha race bike.
Tyler Medallia, number 5, Parts Canada Husqvarna.
Cade Clayson, number 6 on the Redemption Racing Big Steel Box KTM.
Kevin Benoit, number 11. I ride for KTM Tour Racing Team.
Vince Friese, number 55, Monster Energy Alpine Star Kawasaki.
David Millsaps, KTM Thor Racing Team.
Mike Alessi, number 800, Monster Energy Alpine Star Kawasaki.
Looking good, Travs. What a lineup of athletes as they go out on parade. And these beautiful Rockstar girls.
Like a delicious can of ice-cold Rockstar. Brian, with MX1 pilots going out in the line, the world-class talent has arrived. The gate will drop next. This is the Whispering Pines MX track just north of the beautiful Kamloops, British Columbia. MX1 pilots on the line for their first moto, and there's Rockstar Christy. Look at her, there she is. Oh, here come 3 more gorgeous Rockstar girls, and I have to admit, Fabs, I really like the outfits this weekend.
Yes, I like a little bit of color there. Sir Paul Kingsley, head referee, always has the best seat in the house for the start of this MX1 Moto 1. We saw Fat Yodi right there on the inside. Mechanics fanning their athletes, and it is some stinking hot out here in the loops.
Fabs, this first MX1 Moto will be brought to you by Yamaha. Let's rev your heart as we see the number 2 of Colton Fasciotti revving his GDR Honda. Fabulous focusing down on the gate. The gate is now, Brian, coming to the first corner. It's the Premier class. Who's going to get that road distributing whole shot?
Wow, it looks fast and furious, but it is the number 1 rock star rider of Matt Gerke with that Royal Distributing whole shot.
Look at the number 28 of Keelan Messon on that FXR Yamaha with a dynamite start in 2nd place. And how about the 54 of Brock Hoyer, also on an FXR Yamaha top 5. Oh, we got it. Oh my God, we have a rider down already. That looks like it's the number 352 of Harville with that tough line on the inside.
Alex Harville just cartwheels over the bars, but it was the 800 Alpine Stars Monster Kawasaki of Mike Alessi that made some quick movements up past Fat Yotes, but now Fasciati gets him right back through this Honda left-hander. Very fitting for Colton.
For sure, and you can see how choppy that section of the track is. Early, there's not a lot. The bikes aren't flowing through these corners, they're bouncing through them.
Yeah, it is super rough. A nice little tabletop over-under here for pedestrian traffic. That is the MX Performance magazine table. There's the Marin Bikes tabletop as they arc right. A little hipper on the inside, feet off the pegs. It's the number 11 of Kevin Benoit, who has now gone up to the MX1 class after 2 MX2 championships.
Babs, here he comes, the number 118 of Davey Millsaps. We've been dying to see him out on the track. Didn't get the best start in the world, but right now sitting in what looks like 4th place, 5th place behind his teammate Benoit.
A great start for Davey. The pundits had him coined as possible winner. Of course, he hasn't raced a full series of outdoors since 2012, so his conditioning is the question mark at this point.
And injured during the Supercross series, so this is the first time he's been able to get out and take a deep breath and start to race again as he moves up on the inside of his teammate, the number 11 of Kevin Benoit. This is a strong team, Brian, with Cole Thompson, the MX2 class. They've got something going on. Look at that crossover from Davey Millsaps. What a pass.
Jeez, he looked like he wanted to make the move earlier and saw it was his teammate, so he really got on the binders. Doesn't want to really collide with the rider sharing the semi and the 10, but Millsaps just wicks up that 450 KTM and just out jumps the 11. And boy, Millsaps, this looks amazing on his bike.
The number 3 of Brett Metcalf on that Rockstar Yamaha. Again, not a great start for him, but he's starting to make some passes in. The thing about this class this year, Brian, is if you don't get a good start, you're going to be in a bucket full of the bad stuff. And look at on the inside for the number 3 Rockstar Yamaha Metcalf. Get going, Brett. You got to get up there and get in the mix.
Well, Metcalf definitely a favorite for the win here. He's won at this track in the past. Great thing about the 11 of Benoit is nobody's been talking about him, so no pressure at all.
Here's that replay at the start again with the number 1 Rockstar Yamaha, Matt Gerke, crosses the line. What an absolute dream for him to get out in the lead, first motor of the season, big red number 1 on his bike.
And we've seen the 28 of Keelan Meston get the whole shot last year, his first one ever out of Calgary, Alberta, so a great start for him. The battle for 3rd is getting hot. It looks like Alessi just gets passed by Millsaps, and you can just see those braking bumps. Oh, and look at Alessi out on the Motul, out in the soft stuff.
The approach into the inside line, of course, that's where the braking bumps are starting to pile up. Some of the riders are using that outside line. There's 2 exits to that inside line as well, so very choppy to the number 1 of Matt Gerke. Let's watch the styles. He comes into this beautiful little sweeper up in the Dragon's back. Oh, soft stuff on the inside. Nice little cutback for the number 2. Oh my goodness, Millsaps has closed the gap.
His top 3 are looking good now. Metcalf starting to pressure the 800 of Mike Alessi through the big Royal Distributing right-hander. Benoit in 5th looks pretty safe right now, but the battle right now is heating up through the rollers. Millsaps all over the place on Fat Yodi, having a peek through the Acerbis left. Great leg work for the Colt.
To the Rockstar lockoff cam. You know, the one thing that I like about Millsaps is his size. Fasciati and Millsaps are both big guys on the motorcycle, and they ride the bike big. Millsaps is straight up, a little bit more on the front, but man, can he push.
Well, look at Millsaps' head, way up over the front fender, gets that arms and shoulders up over the triple clamp. Millsaps, a definite technician as far as technique and skills on the bike.
Millsaps going inside on the line that Alessi didn't like, makes it work for him, pushes Fasciati really wide. You can't carry as much speed on that corner because that Talladega-sized corner is huge up there, Brian.
I don't think Colt maybe realized that Millsaps was so close, or he would have taken that inside line because he just opened the door. Here it is. Colt misses his mark and braking point to tuck in that inside. We could see Gerke up front take that inside line. Millsaps just tucks it in nicely. You can see how the lines cross right there, intersect down that Old Tool sandy straightaway, but it is Gerkman out front that's just laying a sauce in.
Oh my! Here is that corner again, Brian. Look at the 2 exits. You can go wide and carry out even from the inside, or bucket right in, and there's Fasciati with that outside line.
And see Colton just crisscross to find the smooth lines. Yes. Look at all the ruts on the face of these little jumps out here. Whoa, that's just a small little booter.
The 800 of Mike Alessi's in 4th place. Just a scant few seconds behind the number 2 of Colt Fasciati. So our top 4 are kind of together here to the number 1 of Matt Gerke coming through the mechanics area. Interesting off the start, Brian, they go backwards after the start, the way this track goes to get into the Dragonback section.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the only parts of the track that's groomed after every moto. They're just leaving it rough now. Matt Gerke up into traffic on that Rockstar OTSFF Bondi engine Yamaha, and that Bondi engine just got him off to a beautiful hole shot. You talked about the importance of the start here with this depth of field. Gerke gets the start, and he's leading here on the last lap.
Wow, every time we look at different sections of the track, I just can't believe how rough and how choppy it is. And that's ugly. The nature of the soil, of the sand here. The number 2 Colt Fasciati looking fantastic in that box gear, sitting in 3rd place. Let's check back to Mike Alessi for the gap as they get their last lap flags. Boy, heat, conditioning, a long motor. Here comes Alessi, tucking in on the inside. Wow, he's starting to ride that Kawasaki really well. It's a new bike for him.
I believe at this late in the race, Alessi's pretty happy with his position. He's probably saving energy for the second moto. But look at Davey Millsaps now, right up onto the back fender of Matt Gerke. KTM versus Yamaha lappers are out there, and they are following similar lines right now. Millsaps drives the front end and almost just low slides, showing his strength, grabbers. Wow, it takes so much strength and skill to save a situation like that. A mere mortal would have been cartwheeling.
Oh, that would be a classic low slide on a very difficult exit from that jump. Look at the way Millsaps is carrying speed too. Boy, Gerke's defense is excellent here though, Brian. A lot of confidence in there.
Yeah, and I mean, back to where Millsaps had that incident, that's a high-speed part of the track, so that would have kind of hurt.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now think about this. Davey Millsaps is the type of rider that comes in with a lot of factory experience. He's a champion in the States. He knows how to ride a motorcycle indoors and outdoors. So he's going to be a tough competitor, and he's going to press.
Just watch Millsaps. I mean, Gerke is awesome. We have such great talent up here. Millsaps, though, showing he's in shape. He's able to push right to the end. So Davey silencing the critics as far as conditioning goes. When it's 40+ C, that can be all the difference.
And remember, Millsaps has not ridden any of the tracks up in Canada. Well, Gerke's got a lot of experience up here. And that might not be a big thing for a full race, but right now it's making a big difference as Gerke takes the checkered flag and wins the first MX1 moto here from the Loops.
Good job, Travs. What a barn burner. Fat Yodi has to settle for 3rd, Metcalf 4th, Benoit Freezy, who had our pole position in 7th, then Tyler Medaglia, Husqvarna, then Clayson and Riley Brock out of Utah.
With the winner of the first MX1 moto, with the number 1 of Matt Gerke, wire to wire, got the Royal Distributing hole shot and took the checkered flags. Under some heavy pressure out there, Matt, you must feel good about winning that moto.
Yeah, I mean, I felt a little rusty out there after not riding for almost a year because of my shoulder. But my bike was awesome. My Rockstar Energy OTSFF Yamaha Pirelli tires, factory connection suspension, just ripped the whole shot, and then, I mean, it was pulling me around that track. And it felt good.
A spectacular first moto here in Canada at the Loops, the number 118 of Davey Millsaps, a world-class motocross sensation. Put the pressure on late on Matt Gerke. You had a spectacular race, Davey, for your first time up here. You really manufactured a good race and took care of that track. It's a difficult track out there.
No, it definitely is a tough race. You know, it's I'm just pumped to be here. You know, I've never been to Canada for any outdoor race in my life, and you know, it's definitely different than the States, but you know, I'm enjoying it, and I think it was a good race.
Nice work down in the trenches, T. What a dynamic first moto. Come out to the track and you can see some beautiful freestyle action. This is the Benoit Miloland Rockstar Energy Drink Freestyle Tour. Rockstar girls having some fun. MX2 Moto 2 going out on track. Stick with us. More after the break.
You are watching the 2016 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals. Mark Travers and Brian Coster in the booth as we get set for MX2 Moto 2. Thanks, Christy. I love it. Brian, we had actually a red flag on the first start because Dylan Wright, who got a great jump in the first moto, popped the gate. So they had to line everybody back up and get this thing started all over again. To the lovely Rockstar, Julia 30 board up. Quite cheeky out there. This second MX2 moto will be brought to you by Honda.
Well, you know, when you have a red flag situation, you get all that nerves, all that anticipation, and then you got to do it all over again. It's pretty taxing on the riders.
MX2 Moto 2 restart. Riders, no, the gate is down. Brian, coming to that first corner. Let's go on board with JC Peugeot, one of the Motovan Black riders in the Motovan helmet cam.
Look at that terrible start for the 17. Swallowed in mid-pack. Looked like the 15 was there too, but look who's got it. That's the Royal Distributing hole shot. It's not it. Not with the shot.
How about the start for the number 69, O'Reilly Gallup on that two-stroke KTM, Brian? He's right on the mix. Oh my goodness, and just as I said his name, Gallup goes down after the Dragon's back. Tough break for him.
Wow, he almost got run over there. That was a close call for Gallup with such an amazing hole shot. Royal Distributing lock-off cam sees the pack funneling through, but Brad Notted on his Honda out front. Not great starts for Cole Thompson again. And now we got to keep our eye out for the 15 of Little Muff.
The number 71 of McCoy Bruff with a dynamite start, Brian. He's sitting in second place. And the number 20 of Jess Pettis also up there in the mix. The 17 of Dylan Wright, you said he got hacked off at the start. He's starting to make some passes. So right now, Muff, Thompson, and Wright all in that little cluster.
Can you believe it? 3 of our top stars of the sport really mired in the back of the pack. Oh, look at that. Thompson almost goes over the handling bars on the MXP tabletop. Lands out in that soft stuff. The front end tucks in. And then the feet come up and over.
Pettis goes inside on Bruff into the Iturbe's corner. I saw the number 70 of Brandon Leith, who's got some experience up in Canada. Looks like he was about 5th, so a good start for that Kawasaki.
Love to see the young Canadian Kyle Bureau in all lime green with a great start sitting 4th. The replay of the start looks like Gallup was going to get it, and Notted just stole that $200 away.
Oh no, the number 17 of Dylan Wright is off the track, Brian, and his goggles are off. He does not look good.
All the front end of that bike doesn't look good. Fork guard torn off, front brake line all hanging akimbo. That is the end of his day. Teammate Jess Pettis, though, in second. Look at those braking bumps, and Moss already got up to 3rd.
Pressuring for the lead through the KTM sweeper, Brian. Jess Pettis is in the lead for crying out loud. Rockstar Blue Crew Yamaha.
So can you believe that under 1/10, their star rider won the first moto. Dylan Wright is off the track, and now their other rider up in the lead through the roller section. Notted swapping around a bit. You can tell the Honda's real quick. They're the only brand running the 2 twice pipes.
Through the Iturbe's corner, Brian, think about how hard it was for Medaglia to try to get by Notted in the first moto. He never made it. Pettis comes inside pretty early in this moto and takes care of business through that KTM corner.
Wow, see Notted paddling up the inside, and Notted going around that scoring tower, hit those braking bumps and got all trajectoriated outside. Open the door for Perito.
Look at the big steel box KTM and the number 15 of Lil Muff getting quite bossy out here, Brian. He looks like a top dog.
Well, his dad, Randy Big Muff, has taught him well through that sandy soil there, looking for any smooth line and reprieve from these bumps and this heat through the Motovan dogleg. Look at that leap right there. There is pressure all over this racetrack. Here comes Tommy Gunn Thompson, number 4 on the inside. Oh, Notted shuts the door nicely.
Fabs, the science of putting a track like this together is trying to find smooth lines, and that's the difficulty here.
Well, you can see that in that inside. There was the inside line, and now there's an inside where Thompson went now. Moffenbauer is all over. Look at him up on that banking. Sometimes when you can get up on the banking, Thompson does take 3rd place, Travs. Wow, and there's 70, Brandon Leith out of Salt Lake City, Utah. And here's Jeremy Medaglia in all blue gear, trying to get another chance at the podium.
To our lead in the Iturbe's rollers, the number 20 MX-101 Yamaha. The young Jess Pettis leads into that left-hander. Muff carrying speed on the outside, and the number 4 KTM of Cole Thompson in 3rd. Look at Leith go inside on Notted. Notted searching for that speed line on the outside, didn't make it happen.
Man, oh man, battling all over. Here goes the fight for the lead is starting to intensify. The 15 Redemption Racing big steel box. KTM all over the MX-101 Yamaha of Jess Pettis. This is an intense race on the track. Look at these athletes focused in front of them. There's that inside-outside. Let's see what Thompson can do there, number 4. He's got the best seat in the house for this race.
He is the danger man, but look at Muff carrying speed. I think the exit from that inside line is getting chopped out, and that's why that outside line is working, and Muffenbauer makes it happen. He's into the lead now. Here comes Thompson. Come on, Pettis, get out. Let's see some defense.
Man, oh man, looks like Thompson up on that inside line has got the measure of Pettis, but on acceleration, the Yamaha, they are neck and neck, and what a great point you make about that corner, the inside, the outside. What was faster earlier in the day, maybe not so much now, so it's all about that secret ingredient of honing your eyesight and finding new smooth lines.
Thompson with that crisscross cutback gets in front of Pettis with a very experienced pass to move into 2nd. Now we've got 2 KTMs up front.
And that FXR rider of Pettis, you can see him starting to swap a little bit. Suspension's getting really hot at this stage of the game. Fatigue starting to occur for these athletes, and again, engines getting hot, suspension's getting hot, all this powdery sand is packing the air filters. Performance is waning on the motorcycles.
The number 14 of Jerry Medaglia still trying to stay in contention in this moto, Brian, trying to find some good lines as our leaders go through that left-handed Chirby's corner into this giant rhythm section to the biggest jump on the track. I know you like that one.
It is a big leap of faith. Through these Kawasaki flags they go, and speaking of Kawasaki, their star rider, Jacob Hayes, the number 100, is not in this moto. He pulled out of that first moto with an injury, so not good for Hayes and Monster Kawasaki. He was touted as a series champion.
And Hayes had a great qualifying time, so we were expecting to see him up in the mix, battling with these top guys. You know the Kawasaki team is suffering right now. Look at how rough the track is. In second place, the number 4, Cole Thompson, was in the MX1 class, Brian. He has dropped down. There's a lot of experience underneath that helmet. Look at that inside line. Oh, Moffenbauer crosses over to take the inside, and Thompson carries speed. Beautiful pass.
Yeah, a much smoother line there. Sean Moffenbauer hitting all those inside braking bumps, and how those bumps form is the riders come in and hitting that back brake, and the dirt just keeps piling up, and it just is a Constantine effect. It just gets bigger and bigger, and there is Thompson with a mitt full of throttle. Now before that, we saw Thompson wheeling over a whole bunch of the little bumps that helped him get the momentum to execute that move.
Well, we knew that Cole Thompson was going to be one of the top dogs in this class for sure. Didn't get the start in the first moto, but came back, showed his resolve, got 4th, and we know that he's really happy on that new outdoor package that he's got with KTM. That is a good bike.
Yeah, they have got sealed factory engines here. His Supercross engine was, to put it bluntly, slow. He was not happy. All the Canadians are saying, what's wrong with Thompson? Well, I've spoke with him in depth. He did not have the performance he needed under his belt. The 70, Brandon Leith, having a rock-solid day, making up for the demise of Hayes for Kawasaki. So the American rider holding up Team Green's honor.
Well, Brian, we just got a report from the pits that the number 20 of Jess Pettis, who was in 3rd place, had a bike problem with a couple laps to go. So Leith inherits it. Kind of a quiet motor for him. He just sort of sat back and watched all the stuff happen. But this is the real story right here. The number 4 of Cole Thompson, right now in the lead, coming through mechanics, fist pumping. This is where he wants to be. This is where I think he knew he was going to be.
Yeah, Thor factory KTM getting those sealed motors out of the US, and that thing has got some HP sauce, and he's put it to good work from a relatively poor start. He's made his way all the way to 1st.
Tommy gun Cole Thompson on his KTM takes the checker flag in the second MX2 Moto. Babs
to the Yamaha leaderboard. Medaglia hangs tough. McCoy Bruff, the little guy, finishes 5th, and LaFontaine, Dylan Kalin, Hayden Halstead, and Davey Frazier finishes it up in 9th.
With a dominant performance in the second MX2 Moto here at the Whispering Pines Raceway in Kamloops is the number 4 of Cole Thompson, dropping down this year in the MX2 class. That was a dynamite win, Cole. You really put the hammer down late, made a nice pass, and held on for a great win.
Yeah, no, it was upsetting to start the year off with the crash in the first moto. Luckily got up and fought my way back to 4th. Disappointed with that moto, came out second one. Didn't get the start. Worked my way up to where I could make a pass for the lead, and that's what I did. Made a pass, right around the halfway mark, and from there I just kind of put my own race together. I was a little sore, a little beat up, but very happy to get through this first round. Last year I started this one and quite a ways back, so really happy to be where I'm at, and just gonna keep building. I mean, I got a great team behind me, KTM Thor Racing team, my mentor JSR, for the experience he has and everything like that. My mechanic Steph, Rhino Power, everyone at FMF, Dunlop Tires, anybody that puts work into the team, thank you.
Utah native number 70, Brandon Leith, all the way up here in Kamloops, 3rd place, second MX2 Moto. Brandon, wow, let's talk about consistency. Lap after lap after lap, you were putting it down. You look fantastic out there.
Thank you. It was a good moto. I got a good start, which has been nice because I've been getting terrible starts lately, and pretty good start. Had a good little bit in me, got a little tight because I was up front, but it was good. It's fun.
To the leaderboard after 1 of 10 rounds, Moffenbauer's going to leave with the red plate by 1 point over Cole Thompson. Leith right in there. How about Medaglia, LaFontaine? Gotta like Casey Keys, 9th, the Pro-Am rider.
Well, there's your top 3 in the MX2 class today. A hot one in Kamloops. We've got Leith, Thompson, top of the box this little month. Welcome back to the Whispering Pines Racetrack in the 2016 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals. Mark Travers and Brian Coster in the booth. Hello, Rockstar Christy, you little rascal. Let's get up to the starting straight. Sir Paul Kingsley, Rotten, England, head referee, has got 3 gorgeous Rockstar models, and Rockstar Julie gets that 30 board up. Fabs, we are getting ready to rock and roll. This second MX1 Moto will be brought to you by Pro Circuit, high performance pipes and silencers. They know how to take care of the business. Brian, this day has been one of those ones they call a stinker.
It is some hot out here, and 40 degrees indicated, and that's in the shade. The North Thompson River cooling things off just a little bit if you dare to go into the currents and go for a swim. Pat Yodi on the inside, same spot as the first moto, gets a good jump on that. Go for Nutada. Look at Colton in that blue gear. Is he going to, or is he not? On the inside is Millsap. Colton Fasciotti with that Royal Distributing. Oh, yeah.
Millsap was so aggressive on the inside, but it was about carrying speed through that sweeper, and Fasciotti with the legwork was on it through the Dragon's back. This part is a little sketchy. Most of the riders are getting into that soft stuff on the outside as they go over the finish line.
Millsap looked like he had a great line, wheelied over one of the worst kickers in that turn, but he is just waiting, I think, for a chance to make his move. But Fasciotti's got something to say about it. Neck and neck they go. Wow, what do you say about that, team? Millsaps makes it happen early.
Well, let's face it, Millsaps was as bossy as Colton has ever been on that inside, but remember, you've got to almost plan your attack in that next corner, and Colton was drifting too wide.
Yeah, unreal timing and lightning quick reflexes for Davey Millsap to just make that happen quickly. But it's Brett Metcalf, number 3 on that Rockstar Yamaha, challenged by Alessi early. Alessi gets him. Wow, great racing through the rollers.
A little saucy on the entry on the outside into those rollers, and Alessi went inside and took care of Metcalf. Looks like the number 11 of Kevin Benoit with another good start. He's showing well in this class, Brian, there's no question.
Did you see the 800 of Alessi get totally sideways in those ruts going off the jump? Metcalf gets an easy pass. That could have been a huge yard sale for the 800.
And then he gets totally sauced by Metcalf. Oh, look at Benoit on the inside. Does he have Alessi? And then there's the number 1 of Matt Gerke, who won the first moto, up into this mix. So all our top dogs are in there.
Look at the move by the 11 of Benoit. You can see Alessi hitting all the chop. Benoit with the advantage. Oh, on the outside, Benoit with a nice wheelie. And it is a drag race down the Motul straightaway. A nice little booter there through the Motovan dogleg. Oh, and look at Gerke. He is laid right over. What a pass by the 11.
That was the same line that Millsaps used to pass his teammate Benoit in the first moto, so Benoit was taking that information in. Here's that start again, Brian. Colton carrying speed. Millsaps on the inside, but Royal Distributing whole shot goes to number 2, Colton Pachotes.
Man, Yotes gets a great start, but kind of troubling how Millsaps got in the lead so quickly. Let's see if Colton can stick with him, maybe follow some of his lines. Really impressed with the 11, though, of Benoit on that factory KTM.
To our leader, the 118 at Davey Millsaps, looking amazing on that Thor gear. Look at that big leg work as he comes into the Dragon's back section. That Yotes is keeping him close, Brian, but what's... Oh, here comes Benoit! Oh, it takes care of Metcalf. I was just going to say, we hadn't seen Freezy in a while. Where is Vince Freezy? He should be up in the mix. I think he's having some clutch issues today.
You know, that's a great point, because Freezy set the fastest time.
There he is.
There's Vince right there, just back behind Gerke. Now, Gerke's getting to work on the 800 of Alessi, so Alessi kind of working his way back in this rough Kamloops sand and this scorching heat. Let's see what Gerke's made of. Of course, he took that first Moto W.
Kevin Benoit, an experienced pilot in the MX2 class, 2 championships, moves up to the MX1 class. It is already showing that he's got the stones to compete in this class.
We talked about him in Moto 1. Oh, there's the move by Gerke. He gets a little skewy in those braking bumps, but still makes the pass happen. Oh, and Alessi gets a little peek back. So cat and mouse, what drag racing, bar-to-bar action here. Alessi on the little hipper on the inside. Through the rollers. Wow. It's the inside advantage for Gerke, but this corner has a couple really good lines. They've caught right up to Metcalf, battling hard. It looks like they're both going to get Brett right now.
100%, but you know the thing that's interesting about Metcalf is he doesn't look like tight on the track. He just looks loose to me for some reason. Here's that pass from Benoit. Oh my goodness, on a former MX1 champion in this country, he goes inside. What a ballsy.
Man, I talked about Benoit in the first motor not really having a lot of pressure. Now that pressure is from the press. He's putting a lot of pressure on himself. Fair to Metcalf, he's been in Australia riding a Husqvarna in their series, so not a lot of time testing racing on the Yamaha right up to the beginning of this race.
Excellent point. Millsaps in the lead, followed by the number 2 GDR Honda Colton Fasciotti, checking back in real time to the number 11 of Kevin Benoit. Gorky has gotten by Metcalf, and now he's hunting down the number 11. That's for third spot.
I love the way Benoit backs it into the corners under braking, man. He's awesome. He's mentored by Jean-Sébastien. Now the 800 has Metcalf back in company. Oh, and a boo-boo. Metcalf gets right into the back of Alessi. Alessi gets sideways. That was very unintentional by Mike, but Medi just a victim of circumstance, much like Cole Thompson here in the back of Metcalf last year.
Right, coming up the face of the jump, a little bit of wheel spin out of that corner, and then he crosses up to correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a racing incident.
100%.
And when you see Metcalf get up, he didn't look angry. It's just like, oh my God, what am I gonna do?
The experience of Metcalf, he knows to look back right away to see if anyone is teaming in to mow him down. We saw Alessi get right up on that ledge and ricochet out in a correction position. That was Agile Cookie, loops it around, fishtail.
Keeps the motorcycle running, Brian. That's what he did. Alessi got by him through that all-ball straightaway, but things are heating up for second place. Kevin Benoit on the inside. Oh my goodness, to the Rockstar lockup. Does he have the 4-time champ? Not yet, Brian. Not yet.
Fasciotti responds big time. He does not want to be passed by Kevin Benoit. Benoit riding so well right now on that 450 KTM. Fasciotti is under pressure right now, and it's getting hot. And I know Colton is known to be in great shape, but again, Benoit, French-Canadian riders, got JSR teammates with, Millsaps has another big moment. We saw that one in the first moto, and Millsaps is really pushing that KTM hard. He's got a nice lead right now, and he's still charging and putting himself at risk.
So strong, so fit, so experienced. I love the way he rides the motorcycle to the number. Low slide at any moment on this track. Yeah. You can lose the front end. We've been seeing it all day long. The number 1 of Gorky gets by.
And now here's a 2-time MX2 champion. This guy can ride. He's mixing it up with the big boys. We take it for granted that these riders make it look easy. It ain't. It's anything but, and disaster is always a heartbeat away.
After the put down, the number 3 of Brett Metcalf gets up and goes inside on the number 55 Monster Energy Alpastar Kawasaki of Vince Friese. Friese doesn't look comfortable right now, Brian. He looks like he's fighting not only the track, but also the motorcycle.
Yeah, and he has been on a Honda for so long, the same bike. So maybe kind of what Metcalf's going through, getting adjusted to that new ride. I think Friese setting that fast time in qualifying sets an example that he is good. He just needs some more time on the bike.
My goodness, the battle for second place has hotted up, as you like to say. The number 1 of Matt Gerke finding dynamite lines. Remember, he won the first moto. As we move ahead to our leader, the 118 of Davey Millsaps, just pounding this track in the lead in the second MX1 moto, getting his last lap flag.
Look how brutally rough that is. Entering the corners, exiting the corners. The only spot they really get to rest is in the air, and maybe when they're right in the smooth meat of these ruts. So Davey Millsaps, he has been just the darling of this moto. A ton of fans coming out to the track just to see Davey ride. Huge lineups for his autograph and photos, and he's been nothing but gracious with the fans up here in Canada. It's great to have him here.
Gorky on the outside coming into that Honda corner, so rough. And I love the way that Fasciotti he looks so relaxed on the motorcycle, so it's a pleasure to watch him ride. Sometimes when you look at him, you think, is he even trying? You better believe he's trying.
And when you walk around the racetrack here and you hear Fasciotti's motorcycle, he is always right in the meat of the power. It sounds like his bike is electric. He's as cool as a cucumber, heartbeat never spikes, but Millsaps showing what he's made out of. Fasciotti holding off the advances of Gerke, and Benoit recovering quite well after that low slide.
I am just blown away by the talent in this MX1 class. It is going to be a dynamite season, and Fasciotti has closed the gap up on Millsaps as he comes across and takes the checker flag for his first win in Canada, second MX1 moto. Welcome back to the Whispering Pines Raceway and the Rockstar Miloland FMX Tour. Reagan Siege taking care of the business, and one of my favorites, Jeff Banks. He's a backflip master to the Yamaha leaderboard. Second MX1 moto. Let's go down to Medallia in 7th, Kate Clayson in 8th, Morgan Berger in the top 10, and Keelan Messon rounding it out. Hey, Fabs, take it.
The 118 of Davey Millsaps coming into Canada swinging. Davey, what a moto you put on there. You wanted that in style.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I got out to a good start that time, and that definitely helped. But you know, I got a good lead, and I just settled and just was riding my smart lines and just looking around. The track was brutal, man. It's you know, I haven't raced outdoors since 2012, so it's been a long time. So you know, just trying to get back in the swing of it, and then you know, come over here to tighter tracks than what I'm used to. So it definitely threw me off a bit, but you know, I'm pumped to walk away with the win, and you know, it's just you know, my family's at home, my 2 kids, Dane and Bryn, and my whole family's watching. So it's definitely cool, and you know, happy birthday to my mechanic Paul, and I can't thank Chris, my suspension guy, enough for coming out and making this bad boy good.
Gopher Dunes Honda rider Colton Fasciotti, Canada's favorite son, coming in second in that moto. Pretty good battle with Millsaps, and then a great battle with Gerke. Colt, track was gnarly. Looked like you had some great lines out there. You looked absolutely beautiful on your Honda.
Yeah, the Honda got off to a good start. You know, the guys worked hard this offseason to get it, you know, fine-tuned, and you know, it's working perfect. And we made some adjustments in qualifying practice. Qualifying practice, I was a little bit slow, but made some improvements out the day and finished off strong.
To the Yamaha Series points in the MX1 class after 1 of 10 rounds. Millsaps will carry that red plate into Nanaimo. Gorky and Fasciotti round out your top 3. Boy, it's been a great day of racing here, Fabs. Let's send it off.
It sure has. Remember to like the CMRC MX Facebook page and go to mxnationals.ca for results, videos, discounts on online tickets for upcoming events.
You have been watching the 2016 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals, presented by Motovan.com, the source for your power sports parts and accessories. For Brian Costar, I'm Mark Travers. We're going to say goodbye, but before that, we're going to say special thanks to Willie and the GKMA for being fabulous hosts. Look at Gerke's hand. Ouch! We'll see you in Nanaimo.